Dayne, we must congratulate you first of all. Sweden was the first country to give you a gold record on the single Tell It To My Heart.
Yes, it's wonderful.
Great
Thank you.
news. Does this mean that Scandinavia is obviously one of the best territories already for you?
I guess so. Yeah.
What were your impressions of Scandinavia before you came here?
Oh, always good chocolate. It depends. I don't know.
It's up something in your mind.
You know, blonde hair, blue eyes. That's bottom line. Yeah, you know.
And
good doctors.
The only Scandinavian country you've been to is Sweden. Is that right?
Yes, at the moment.
And
yes.
Stockholm.
Yes.
And you said earlier that you were surprised a little bit that Stockholm was a lot of water and islands and things.
Yeah, well, it's actually it's quite lovely, you know. It's just like 3 islands already. I'm sitting on one and I look out the window and you can see others. It's wild.
Right. How does this compare to where you come from then? Because I'm sure you've been asked the question time and time again. You're a new artist for us. You're a new artist, period. That means we don't know so much about you. What is your background? Who is Taylor Dayne? Where does she come from?
Yeah. Well, I'm from New York. It's the U.S. I live in Long Island, and it's Long Island. Here we are back to islands again, huh? As far as being a new artist, well, I doubt that. It just seems new to everybody else because all of a sudden he has a single and it's doing so well. And I haven't been. It's new for me because I'm finally on a major label, but I was on an independent label before and worked on many people's albums, doing backgrounds and vocal arrangements. Oh, I worked with Hunter Hayes, Michelle Goulet, Dee Snider. A lot of black R&B,
disco, dance.
Or R&B, yeah, I've done it all.
I read somewhere that you're quite an intellectual lady. Is that right? You studied quite a lot. You studied music as well.
Well, I went to school for music for a couple of years, and I, majored in voice and performance level, and it was classical, obviously training. And the school I went to, I transferred after 2 years. And I started with the music program there, but it just wasn't happening there. I didn't find the teachers or whatever. It wasn't what I wanted. So I switched, and I was living there. So I switched majors over to psychology first, and I hated it. And then I switched to philosophy major for the remainder of the time. And then I just said, this is terrible. I'm on the extendo plan. I better get out and make some money and pay some rent.
Having studied psychology and philosophy, has this contributed or helped you in any way in the music business?
I doubt it.
Okay, tell us about the video to Tell It To My Heart. You listen a little bit on the background and if there's anything special to say about that video, because we're obviously going to show the video. It could be interesting for the viewers.
Well, I'm very pleased with that video. Which I know is very difficult for a lot of artists to say about videos, whatever they do. I think it came out, it's a very moody video. It's very simple, and yet it seems to emote a lot of stuff. Whether people think I'm angry in the video or whatever, I don't know. It was easy to do, and just in the fact that I didn't do any difficult moves weren't choreographed that was so difficult. They were things I felt comfortable with, and working with the dancers, how they were, how I was, and just pulling out things that came more naturally and just seemed to work. And the camera didn't, we didn't have so much crap going on that it was focused elsewhere, so it came out. I'm really pleased with it.
Is it an advantage or a disadvantage being a white artist but doing music or having a voice that is anyway on the verge of being black?
That's a very tough question, It might not be what everyone wants to hear. At one time I thought it was the best thing since, milk chocolate, And that was about 3 years ago when I started doing black urban club music, and it wasn't happening for me. It was very tough to get airplay. And I'd show up in clubs after they heard my record, and I'd be like, okay, here I am. They'd be like, nah, whatever. It just wasn't happening. And plus, it's a very tough market. R&B is it's tough, it's tough.
The new single anyway is Prove Your Love.
Yes.
And there's a video to that as well.
Yes.
Is there a story there?
I think they're was supposed to be.
Tell us about
Don't
it.
ask me more about that video. Somebody's gonna come and get me. You know.
I haven't seen it, so.
Well, it's not tell to my heart, but it's good.
Mm.
It's good. It's. I think it could have been much more.
Mm.
You know, cinematography-wise, statement-wise, a lot of things, and it was supposedly supposed to be. What happened in the process? Don't ask me. I was just, you know, there for the 17 hours and worked very hard in a dusty, burnt-out basement. It felt like, didn't it? Woo.
You're generally happy with the results, anyway.
I mean, you know, it's good. It's good. It's good. The next one's gonna be great.
Mm.
Trust me. Trust me.
And when are we going to see you live in person singing on stage with a band?
You know, I'm doing that in the States. I am on tour in the States.
You do clubs mostly?
Clubs and venues, you know, small arenas like 2,000, 3,000, up to 5,000 seaters. Just for here now, it's difficult to come back here with a band just working off one single. You know, it's just not advantageous for myself. Or lucrative, believe me. I would think maybe to come back late summer, just do some key markets before I go in and probably start the new album. You know, and then come back and do something real special here in Europe. When we get the album saturated and some more releases, you know, the album's been out in the States since December, January, you know.
But that's where you're concentrating your efforts in the States at the moment.
Well, we started that way. Nobody thought of what happened here. Nobody. Believe me. Especially me. But I mean, the label, you know, it just, boom.
Yeah.
So I'm here now. That must mean something, you know.
Right. Well, once again, congratulations. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
Thanks.